And we should be live with an NFG Hon presentation with me, Dan, and obviously Mangy. Thanks for coming along.
Hey.
Here we've got the HONTOUR Diamond Cycle 6, round 4 of Lions Esports Club versus Trademark Esports, and things are kicking off pretty quickly for game 1. Zephyr Parasite, Fade Keeper, being those blind bans straight out the gate.
Yeah, and again, suicides and junglers pretty standard. The Zephyr one's pretty interesting. Then again, I have seen TDM run Zephyr a lot lately, and Lions probably seen that too, and aren't keen to go up against the bird.
And for that lock pool, we're seeing Torture, Wild Soul, Tempest, Ophelia, and Wretched Hag. So obviously if Wild Soul's making it through the blind band, he's going to get locked. Same thing with Ophelia, really. Is one of those very powerful heroes, but it looks like we're going to see a very powerful lock pool in general with that Wretched Hag and obviously that Torturer.
Most definitely. It looks like, because TDM ended up locking Tempest, so I'm assuming that Lions is going to go for that Wild Soul. It's generally their first pickup, but TDM, like, going for the Ophelia, and Lions, again, counter-locking Ophelia. You know, Ophelia is such a strong counter with those skeleton minions. Just a strong hero in general, really.
And we can see the Magmus as the final lock. Big fan of the Magmus, of course, especially in that dual lane, but with such powerful heroes already up there, I'm not sure if he's going to be viable. I guess we'll have to just wait and see what the other bans end up being. You see Tundra, Pebbles, Draconis, which is probably pretty standard. Tundra being one of those heroes that can just lock down the other team, especially without all that much farm. Once he gets that portal key, he's got Shiver, he's got Vision, and the slow, sort of equivalent to a Frostpool Skull.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. That hero, the Vision is the most annoying thing to deal with, and again, just like a Fade, getting that eye, just complete map control, and get Vision on the easy counters on the wards. So Bird is super strong and completely understandable that got rid of that one.
Final locks been that Plurita, Moon Queen, and Blitz. What do you think about a Blitz being banned?
I'm actually confused why Blitz is banned. I personally dislike the hero. Again, I haven't seen it come out into play, and I think maybe they've been studying each other and looking and seeing a lot of Blitz play, and they're not really keen to come up against that hero that they don't know too much. So that might be the reason that they banned it out.
Master of Arms going to be the first pickup, and Engineer getting picked up for TDM there. And it was TDM that locked the Magmus, so we might see the patented Engie Magmus combo that obviously you know I love so much. Second pick though, they really have a wide open pool here. They do have a couple of really strong heroes they could go for, something like a Silhouette perhaps. I wouldn't be surprised to see. They end up going to Deadwood, so going to go for that. I have a feeling we're not going to see Magmus now on that Hellborn team.
Yeah, probably. I'd like to say we won't see the Magmus, but again, Deadwood's such a strong hero too, so I'm not going to complain there. I love seeing the Deadwood come in.
You see the right-click shadow pick for the rally. Now we've seen a lot of rally, obviously in the Hon Oz scene lately, and we've seen that compel being used very effectively. We've seen that compel falling short very regularly as well.
Yeah.
It's a very very tricky hero to get a hold of.
Yeah, it is, but it's a great hero nonetheless, and especially for these top tier teams that really don't make that many mistakes with the hero. So especially it might be up with a stunner in lane, so guaranteed stun on top of that. Really strong hero. And the survivability aspect of Compel is ridiculous too. But Glacier's being picked up as well along with it, so I expect to see a really strong combo with that rally.
Especially if Lion can, as they will get that first pick for the jungle, do you think they'll aim more towards that Wild Soul? I would imagine they're going to pick up Wild Soul and maybe something like a Wretched Hag, or even sort of a Wild Soul. Because I just assume that they won't get both the Tempest and the Ophelia.
Probably not. I definitely looking towards probably Wild Soul. At a guess, Wild Soul is one of those really top tier heroes that a lot of teams are afraid to verse. And yeah, the fact that they locked it too, first picking that Wild Soul. Interesting though, TDM got that Monkey King, which personally I love. and I think it's been popularized a lot by the AL team with Cookies playing a really strong... Cookies and Mookies, in fact, playing really strong Monkey Kings.
And TDM coming down to their two final picks here, Tempest and Wretched Hag, and this is going to leave Lions to pick up Ophelia if they want it, and obviously run that Ophelia in the jungle, Wild Soul in that Suicide, which I'd imagine is what they'd want to do. Wild Soul, of course, in the jungle on his own, is a force to be reckoned with if he does get that early mock, or just has that time to just free farm, but he's still a very powerful Suicide hero, and I really don't think Torturer or Magnus or even Ophelia would be a decent Suicide in comparison.
Yeah, well, definitely. It would definitely be Wild Soul running that Suicide in this lineup. Maybe Rally. Rally's like another one, but I really don't feel like they're going to lane the Wild Soul any other way. Ophelia is for sure taking the jungle, and I really like the Ophelia pickup, especially to counter Tempest. Those skeleton minions, as I said earlier, like really strong counter to Tempest. But yeah, so the teams end up they end up picking like both pretty solid teams, like great teams in fact. Like a lot of heroes that have been banned out lately getting into the picks. You know, Ophelia, Wild Soul, Engineer, Tempest. They're all heroes that just get banned consistently. So seeing them in play will be exciting.
So we're getting underway now for the HONTOUR Diamond Cycle 6, Round 4. You're watching this on NFG Hon with myself, Dan, and Mangy. We've got Trademark Esports versus Lions, and they're getting underway now. And for that Hellborn team, I mean, we did touch on it briefly. That Monkey King, a very interesting pick. They do have that Engineered Deadwood. I would imagine that Monkey King going to be... I mean, the Monkey King could lane mid, sort of a dual lane mid. Deadwood can hold his own, of course, as well. But Deadwood could be in that short lane, and could do very well there.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like, it's really hard to say how they'll lane this, on the Hellborn side especially, but the fight looks like it's brewing top. Deadwood's in a lot of trouble here. Rally compels in, and it looks like a Bloodlust on the Deadwood.
I think I'm actually a little bit behind you here, because I'm only just coming up to it now, as Deadwood actually getting jumped on, and about to get frozen, and Rally using the compel just then. There goes the Bloodlust kill, so I'm sitting at...
What are you at now? I don't know what happened there, because we're at the
24.
exact... 5, 24...
20... 29, oh sorry, 19, 18, 17. I think actually mine might be running a little bit slow for some reason. Hold on. Could be due to the recording.
Maybe. I'm on 0 at the moment, so...
I'm hitting 0 now.
Alright, we're on 0. Let's do this. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
Awkward me calling out the fight before you see it.
Oh yeah. They were good sort of 10 seconds ahead too. Shit.
Jesus. So yeah, Wild Soul. Ending up as that Suicide roll. You know, Monkey King going up against him as a solo. Engineer, it looks like, is going to be probably mid. I'd assume mid, but may go top. Looks like he's actually heading top at the moment. So they're going to leave Deadwood solo for now.
I think especially because the ward didn't go down, Engineer could have a really good time trying to help this Monkey King, especially up against that Wild Soul. You see Wild Soul actually pulling the Boo Boo up now and teleported
Did a
back.
full pull too. Yeah, so he pulled it all the way back to his second creep wave, which is something you can't really stop. But yeah, it looks like Angie's going to pull and try and get that lane back for the Monkey King.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to need to be up there. Deadwood should be okay. I mean, he is getting Glacial Imprison right there, and that's letting that Rally get a couple of auto attacks. As we're seeing that Rally on 4 and 0, just hitting level 2. But, you know, Deadwood should be able to hold his own, and getting an early level 6 on Deadwood's never a bad thing. He just has to make sure he stays alive and doesn't get caught out.
Oh, definitely. Again, it's a pretty tanky hero just like off the bat, so I don't expect it to die in particular. I probably will see Engie transition mid. At a guess, we'll see Engie transition mid after he gets his lane back for Monkey King, but I can't be sure.
So it's early into the game now, but Tempest doing quite decently as well, obviously in that jungle. And Ophelia taking a little bit longer to take off, of course, as Ophelia can be, especially needing the right creeps and whatnot. But I think this engineer being in the jungle is definitely going to help Tempest as well, as if he's off to the side he can just stack all the creeps, maybe even help Tempest whittle them down a little bit, as those elementals are probably pretty weak early.
Yeah, definitely. Engie being in top jungle makes a lot of sense. It does, again, especially with the Deadwood, that in general it's just not going to die. So essentially they're making, you know, the Lion side use 2 heroes to go up against 1, while you know, that Glacius can't really do as much as what Engie can do right now. Engie can actually stack, help the Tempest out, and help the Monkey King out. Glacius just is working on shutting down the Deadwood, which it's really hard to shut down. And Deadwood running around looking for the Glacius, it looks like.
Yeah, he's playing very
Glacius
passively, and as we hit the 3-minute mark now, he is actually thrown out a Rotten Grasp. He's going to do a little bit of damage on that rally, but obviously rally way too tanky for any of those shenanigans.
Yeah, I don't think I would be really surprised if Deadwood could pull a kill here in this lane. But yeah, it looks like mid's just going to be a really passive game for Deadwood currently, just trying to leech that XP from the back. The bot fight, like the you know, they've got MOA versus a Wretched Hag, which is really interesting to see because, you know, Hag's definitely a solid solo hero, but you don't see that MOA in the solo role that much anymore. Lately we've been seeing it play that support role for complexity a lot, so it's good to see it playing a more farming orientated role, and it is actually doing really well against the Hag at the moment, currently being 70 GPM higher.
Yeah, Master of Arms is one of those heroes that has a lot of versatility. You can be that hard support, you can be that sort of semi-carry role as well, maybe even a hard carry if the game sort of goes long enough, but the main thing I would imagine we're going to see a lot of is him using that shield, especially when someone gets jumped by Deadwood. And if you can just absorb that initial blow, you know, Deadwood has a lot to follow it up with, but he's sort of hoping on that huge nuke ability with that Falcon Punch, and if you can just buy a teammate a little bit more time, that can just completely screw up a gank.
Oh, definitely. Even if he stops the follow-up damage, Deadwood, you know, after that punch, he's got the damage following up, but he doesn't really have any big nuke afterwards. So, you know, if he can live through the grasp, he can generally get away, or whoever gets jumped on. Wild Soul doing... He's actually, like, the engineer's done a really good job of keeping this Wild Soul down. It looks like...
He's getting jumped on now, actually. Yeah, Monkey King flipping him around, which is the most annoying thing, of course. The Steam Turret actually pushing Wild Soul away a little bit. Does slow him down somewhat, but it's not going to be enough as Engineer going back into the jungle. Bringing up the gold, it is only 300 gold difference, 1 for 1 at the moment, as we're at 15 past 5, and Wild Soul struggling a little bit, only level 3 versus this level 5 Monkey King, and that goes back to what you were saying, this Engineer just doing incredible work in the top lane. Yeah,
definitely. He's actually the lowest GPM in the game right now, which is very interesting to see from a Wild Soul. Just because, like, the bear, it's so powerful just pulling that lane back. So that's why you see Wild Soul played in the suicide role so much. But again, TDM doing an amazing job of keeping him down. But bar that bloodlust and the fight at top, it seems like not much has been happening. It's been teams opting for the farm rather than the ganks and the kills.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to be playing very carefully here, not to tip their hand. You see a little bit of good rune control. Oh no, attempting to go for one of those runes there, but it looks like Ophelia is actually going to pick it up in the bottom lane. So Illusion's going to slightly help her farm a little bit more. But I think the main one will be interesting to keep an eye on is this bottom lane. This Master of Arms level 7 versus a level 6 Wretched Hag. And Lion's certainly taking over that bottom lane, but struggling a little bit, obviously, in that suicide role.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you've got a Master of Arms sitting on 350 GPM compared to the Hag sitting on 200, you know, but Hag is one of those heroes that can just get that GPM so easily and recover, so... it's not too surprising from this, but it looks like they're going to go for the push with Ophelia here.
Yeah, they've pushed the tower right up. They've got Ophelia. They've got the Ophelia illusions as well. They've got a Vagabond Leader and a Wolf Commander. They're going to be doing a lot of damage here. I'm not sure whether Wretched Hag's going to be cheeky enough to be able to get this tower tonight. Engineer's moving in close as well. And it looks like Lion's going to wait for that next creep wave before trying to push any further. So obviously they don't want to get it too low that it's going to become an issue. A lot of AoE coming out from Wretched Hag, and to a certain extent that Engineer trying to hold off this push. I think Lions doesn't want to put any more harass onto that tower and risk a deny, so they're just going to let Ophelia walk away and get some more minions.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be happy to just leave it there. Sitting on that HP, especially, you know, they're they're going to come back with minions and it's going to be a lot harder to defend. Right now they're also pulling the Engineer away from the Monkey King top, so maybe the Wild Soul can get some farm, but it looks like he's sitting mid anyway at the moment, probably trying to get the kill on Deadwood. Rally sitting in the trees too.
Rally throws out the Compel, Wild Soul is going in as well, trying to get a root proc off if he can, not going to need it though. That's that Ice Imprisonment proving too much. Lion pushing into the lead slightly, 2-1. Although Trademark Esports picking up that top tower, Monkey King and Tempest pushing that in. While a little bit of harass goes in that middle tower. I'll be interested to see if the ports do come in. Monkey King does not have one. Tempest does with that ultimate ready. But there's a little bit of action happening in the bottom lane as well. Looks like it's going to be a tower for tower exchange. Although Engineer actually pushing Ophelia into tower range as well, and Monkey King is porting in. There come the full ports from Trademark Esports, and it looks like they're going to collapse onto Lions, killing that Ophelia and that Master of Arms. So great response. They let the tower go in the middle, but made up for it with 2 hero kills.
Yep, in saying that, they traded off 2 towers for 2 hero kills. I think it was an extremely good decision, especially with the Master of Farms farming as well as he has been.
The Master of Farms.
Yeah, Master of Farms.
Farming it up.
Yeah.
Being a farm lord, as some might say.
Definitely. But interesting to see as well, like Rally being the top GPM, not even the Master of Farms. So, you know, the again the Hellborn's looking a lot more. I guess they've got two people on extremely high GPM here. So, Monkey King and Tempest both at the 400 GPM mark. Again, Lions isn't doing bad whatsoever, so they've got Rally on 400 GPM and Master on 350. But you can see the difference between the junglers, especially the... Oh wait, sorry, NG getting jumped on here, and it looks like Rally's going to pick up the kill. The mid lane, that Seismic Slam being huge, cutting NG into pieces.
The interesting thing as well, I mean, one of those heroes you talk about for Trademark who has all that farm is that Tempest, and he's getting very close to that portal key. I mean, after that, if his farm continues that way, we're going to see a Shrunken Head, we're going to see a Resto Stone, of course, but by that stage, once he's got the portal key and the Shrunken Head, they can start, you know, almost assigning some more farm to, say, the Deadwood or the Wretched Hag if need be. So yeah. I think Tempest is one of those heroes you want to get that early farm on, you want to get that early portal key, start making things happen. But you can sort of slow down on him. After that, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here, though. So close to that portal key, getting melted, and he will lose a lot of gold that way. Bad Blast being used by Wretched Hag to do some damage there. They take out Ophelia and Glacius, I believe. But losing that Tempest and losing a fair chunk of gold there, that's got to be a bit upsetting.
Yeah, well, you know, they got a couple of counter kills with it, but Tempest, especially being that close to PK, you don't want to be dying. You want to be getting that PK and getting it as soon as possible. Unfortunate there, but I don't think it's going to create too much of a dent in his farm. Sorry about that. I had a spider just crawl over my leg. That was very interesting. Yeah, back to the game now. Oh, lordy.
So we got Wild Soul now in that suicide lane, having a little bit of an easier time, pushing that gold per minute up to around about 250. He's going to be scared off by this Tempest, though, as maybe thinking something else could be coming.
Yeah, he'll be a bit worried, but in that ulti form, he's a lot safer. You know, 1100 HP with only boots and a minor totem. It's at level 6 too, so he'll probably use his bear to micro and grab a couple of kills. Tempest may be in a little trouble again.
There's the Compel, unfortunately, just missing, and that's what we were talking about at the start of the game. We've seen that Compel work wonders, obviously setting up those big stuns, but when it misses, it does miss just so barely, and it just makes you feel that, oof, Didn't play that one the best.
It's ulti also, like, pretty impossible to follow up. Like, use that ulti to get anything unless you've got a stun off. So, you know, his stun being the compel, you can't really take control in this unless you land that stun, especially early game.
Now, Lions Esports actually trying to counter-ward the counter-ward that was placed in that jungle, so they couldn't stack. I believe they still had a double stack anyway, they just couldn't make it a triple. And I'm not sure if that Ward of Rev's in range for them to have spotted it out. Doesn't look like it. So unfortunately that's going to delay the Lions farm just a little bit. And that's the power of the Rev Ward.
Yeah, Rev Wards, man, like it's being used a lot more lately to counter stacks and just slow down the farm, essentially. You know, in the past it wasn't used at all, and it's been just a dormant ability, I guess, that teams have finally started picking up.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that sort of risk-reward. Is the reward of Rev's only going to cost you 100, but it's going to cost the team a lot more, especially if they can't get that stacked. It's wasting time and money. Master of Arms shield activated on Wild Soul as he gets caught in the Elemental Void. Bat Blast being used with a lot of resources, and that goes to show that Wild Soul just being so hard to put down. But he does go down in the end. And
3 ultis to take him down there, though. So, you know, maybe Lions will be looking to set up a push here.
Yeah,
but
it looks
I
like
guess
Ophelia might have used that Ophelia's touch in that fight as well.
Yeah, did definitely. Yeah. So, you know, but they did use Elemental Void, Bat Blast, and the NG ult to get away. So that's 3 big ultis, big team fight ultis to take down that Wild Soul. But I guess they're prioritizing Wild Soul over a lot of things right now. In saying that, Lions is looking like they're going to go try and push top with all those ultis being down.
Yeah, I think Trademark Esports is going to put up some defense here, though, as Deadwood nearby, moving in, taking out some of those illusions, taking out some of those soldiers, and trying to, I guess, pull aggro off the tower. But now that the Bear's here, now that Boo Boo's here, it could get quite serious. And as you point out, those big teamfight AoE ultis are gone. Deny goes out from Minus, though.
Wow.
I believe it could have been him or those elementals that did it. And that's great. Deny. TDM is going to be able to fall back very safely here. Although the push train still seems to be coming. Lions is keen for a tower. They're not so happy the last one got denied. And potentially going to put a bit of harass onto this one. Maybe even force a team fight while those ultis are down.
It definitely makes sense with those ultis being down. In saying that, NG's ult will be back up really shortly. Actually coming back up pretty much now. So they will have that ready, but Tempest ult and the Bat Blast being down.
They are getting a little bit aggressive here, pushing them back. Without those big teamfight ultis, I'm not sure what they want to do, but at the very least, Monkey King's actually sitting in that bottom lane, pushing bot. And now, obviously, as we mentioned, that the teleports do come in, but all TDM really had to do there was hold off and just let that Monkey King get some more time, get some more farm. He's going to pick up a stack here, it looks like, in the...
Yeah. So, again, Monkey King doing really well here, so... They put a lot of pressure on that second tier tower, and Monkey King got a lot of free farm in that time that they sent 5 heroes to push top. And in saying that too, the Lions didn't even get that second tier tower. Compel coming out from the rally and going onto the Hag. Hag blinking away on barely any health. Rally still going after, but falls back at the tower.
That's a bit unfortunate. I mean,
yeah.
Master of Arms ultimate was down. He didn't have any money either, so I'm not sure if he could have helped, or if he did help there. Using that lightning speed, but Richard Hag getting away, very luckily.
Bee's dick of health.
With a bee's dick of health, that's right.
Yeah. So, again, Master and Rally doing a pretty good job of farming, both 350 GPM, but Monkey King again, like, close to 400, and same as Tempest. Tempest having that, hasn't got that PK yet. Am I wrong in saying that he was that close to PK just before?
He picks it up just now.
Picks it up now, okay. So yeah, I'm actually surprised. I thought he already had PK, but 16-minute PK is still nothing to sneeze at.
And bottom lane, Master of Arms gets jumped on and taken out by a combination of Deadwood Portal Keying in, so that's Deadwood with a Portal Key as well. That's going to be very deadly. Both that Tempest and the Deadwood jumping in, causing all sorts of trouble.
Master of Arms got annihilated there. Is Master got... What do you think Master's going for with those items?
Oh, sorry, Elemental Void being used on Rally in the top lane. Engineer Ultimate being used as well. Wretched Hag going to slow that Rally Compel coming out, but it's not going to be enough.
That's unfortunate right there.
A bit out of position though, that rally, especially now that Tempest has that portal key, of course. But
Probably saw a couple bot and thought he was safe, but you know, they did, again, using these big ultis just to get these picks, which I'm sure they're happy to do right now. Securing this lead and just holding it.
now, you mentioned that Master of Arms, actually, the kind of items he has. Obviously, you'd assume with those kind of items on a melee hero, you're looking at a basher, but because he hasn't got two Blade of Alacrity, so you know it's very unlikely he's gone for a Nullfire Blade just yet. Maybe he was halfway there and went, you know what, I'm going to start building a Shrunken. Although, I'm not really sure if it's worth it against this team. You look at that Monkey King, you look at that Deadwood, those are those heroes that are doing that physical damage and are still going to be able to put you down with a Shrunken Head. Sure, that Wretched Hag and obviously the Tempest to a certain extent Engineer, I just don't think it really warrants it yet. Shrunken Head, don't get me wrong, is a great item, but against this team lineup, I don't think you need it this early in the game.
Yeah, definitely. It probably shows that they're going to opt for pushing really early, thinking that they don't really have the late game here. But, I don't know, with that Wild Soul and Master Arm, both strong late game heroes, so I'm not 100% what they're going for at the moment.
I mean, he could still be going for a Frostburn.
Frostburn. Yeah, he could, and being splitting those items. Again, Nullfire or Shrunken, both items split. I'd assume he's not going for Basher. Especially first item on the Master of Arms, it doesn't seem viable. But
yeah, even with that quick shot ability that he does have, I don't think it's going to be worth it. Now, Ophelia's trying to defend this middle lane here with those minions. You see, obviously, that Tornado doing a little bit of work there, slowing him down, taking out the weaker of the minions. But it looks like this is going to get denied, so another great deny coming out from Ophelia that time, just from the creeps. Having stationed them nearby, they will fall, though, unfortunately. Which makes things a little bit harder, but there we go, Nullfire Blade picked up by Master of Arms.
Yep. That makes a lot more sense. I do like the fact that they got the Nullfire. He probably picked up that.
He's going to get jumped on, though. Ophelia's touch coming out, but he is going to fall in the end. Wild Soul doing what he can as well, but Monkey King doing a great body blocking. Glacius in a lot of trouble, will get completely melted, especially with that Wretched Hag. The Ice Imprisonment, not enough, as obviously that Sonar Scream going straight through it. And it looks like Ophelia could be in a little bit of trouble. Tempest is nearby, doesn't have an ulti or anything like that. It will get rooted on the spot, but Monkey King just jumping around my nuts. Getting the final kill though, I believe, with that Glacial Blast.
Yeah, it's initiation, the counter initiation is so strong on the Hellborn side right now, and they do have that lead to just follow it up. Like, look at the levels in this game, you know, the lead is massive. So I'm guessing the Lions is going to go for a really strong turtle right now.
Yeah, I think that's really the only option left to them. The 4 to 11, just as we go past that 20-minute mark. I mean, there are some decent items and there's some decent farm on that Legion team, but you know, 9,500 gold difference. This Hellborn team is just on fire. Trademark Esports showing why they are, you know, one of the top competitive teams right now. And you can see it in that Tempest and that Monkey King. Now, what we thought was a bit of an interesting pickup with the Monkey King, proving to be very powerful.
Yeah, again, I love the Monkey King. It wasn't picked up for a long time, but lately, competitive-wise especially, it's been picked up a lot. It seems like more of a pub scene hero, just because I'm used to seeing it in the pub scene, but never competitively. Again, it looks like AL, loving that Monkey King, has swinged a lot of teams into picking it up. TDM following suit with that one.
Engineer going back to stacking the jungle, bring that lane more into their control. Wretched Hag getting very close to that Hellflower. She hasn't got it already. There she goes. Wild Soul just picked up a Sword of the High, so he's getting close. I mean, he's still a fair ways off from getting that Mark of Brilliance by all means, but he's getting close, and that could make things a bit interesting as well. At least if he can get it in on the front lines, stop the Tempest, stop that Deadwood from Portal King around, reducing their maneuverability, especially going to hamper them in team fights or sort of a turtle situation. But I think Lions definitely on the back foot here and need to play very carefully so they don't get caught out and just like let the game go with a big push coming in from TDM.
Yeah, definitely. Like TDM's in a really great spot right now. Congo is completely opened up to them if they want to do that. you know, they can sit back and farm because I'm pretty sure they're happy with waiting till late game if they really wanted to. Tempest picks up an iron. Tempest looking like he's kind of troll building here. The firebrand.
Oh no, I've seen it. I've seen the firebrand with a Ganjuro.
I don't know.
Deadwood actually jumping on that rally. Glacial Downpour from Glacier's in a really good position, but that Elemental Void is going to grab some of his teammates with that Monkey King and that Engineer coming in as well with that Energy Field. It's going to be way too much. This is what I'm talking about. Trademark Esports just catching out 3 from Lions and 14-4. I don't want to call it early because it's not GG's till obviously that shrine is down or the votes come out, but it's just not looking good for Lions right now.
Well, definitely. TDM's got such a big lead. They just picked up that team fight, and I'm sure that they're going to go for a push here. Or they should be pretty comfortable with a push here. Maybe opt out the safe route, but again, they do have the ability to push. And again, Deadwood decided to PK back and farm up rather than risk the lead, I guess, that they have.
Well, especially because Deadwood's one of those heroes that he doesn't have much once he's used everything. He is going for that Hellflower, it looks like. But I wouldn't. TDM definitely in the kind of position where they can wait for that Tempest ultimate to come off cooldown, wait for that Deadwood ultimate, Bat Blast, and Energy Field, and so on. Then get full health, full mana, and push again, giving Lions that time to farm. While it's definitely going to help Lions, it's not going to seal the game for them.
Yeah.
They're not going to have an immense comeback by any means because they are 16,500 gold down right now.
Yeah, the Hellborn definitely is in a position that they can do nearly anything they want right now. They're happy to sit back and farm and control this lead, especially with them clearing out the Hellborn jungle. So yeah, Legion jungle also being cleared completely by the Hellborn coming up now, so the Legion may get a bit of farm, but Hellborn is in complete control.
Yeah, especially with that eye on that Engineer, they'll be able to de-ward around the Kongor pit, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take a pretty easy Kong kill, just to guarantee their spot when they push in against Lions. You know, that final push up the ramp into that tier 3 tower, into that base tower, is obviously one of the hardest things to do, but with the team makeup they've got, if they've got all those ultimates ready, which is probably in about 60 seconds for that Tempest, or sorry, 52 seconds for that Tempest, they should have a pretty easy time. Tempest does have that Frostbrand though. Frostburn, sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, I really feel this is a troll kind of Tempest build.
Rally getting jumped on by a Wretched Hag with that Hellflower, using that Horn ability, Panzer Armor activated, and that's gonna give Rally, the tanky Rally already, enough resistance, obviously just keep staying in the lane. Wretched Hag having blown everything, well not everything, but blown all the good stuff, yeah. It's just gonna
still got
bounce
ulti
out.
though, so should be pretty happy to push again. Like Tempest ult's back up now, if I'm correct. So it wouldn't surprise me to see. Well, the Kongor attempt's actually going out now, so it looks like they're going to go for Kong and just secure this lead again.
It is just 2 of them at the moment, though. Monkey King, Tempest actually Monkey King flipping out of the pit there, but
Lions should know what's going on too. They do have that ward there, a really good ward by Silkid.
Yeah, it's interesting.
NG hasn't spotted that yet, even with the eye. So
I think part of it is obviously when you're up there, you've got that tree just in the way. They need usually they end up using sort of like an Aluna power throw or something like that to get that vision. And of course, Lion is going to go into. It looks like they're going to split up. Some of them going mid, some of them going jungle. They have foiled the Kong attempt at the moment, for the moment at least, and go back to farming.
Yeah, definitely. Like both these teams again. Lions isn't in a position to start anything right now. I'm waiting for TDM to make a mistake. TDM is quite happy just sitting back and farming, not giving up any lead. Trying to probably get a pick or get that Kongor attempt off just to secure a nice safe push.
Now Mocha Brilliance finished on Wildsoul. Obviously you see it on that Boo Boo and he's continuing to farm with it. But while that's happening, Kongor attempt happening again, and they could get this one. The Legion team forming up here, getting ready to make something happen with an Invis Wretched Hag. It could be very difficult. Looks like Kong's going to go down without any trouble. The Ophelia minions and that bear coming in a little bit too late to make anything happen. And now Lions is actually going to bail out of there. Very wisely so, and Ophelia could lose her minions as part of that as well.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try and take out those Ophelia minions. Obviously, with them controlling this jungle so well too, Ophelia is going to have a lot of trouble getting minions like that back.
Master of Arms actually getting jumped on there. He used that Nullfire Blade before the Bad Blast came out, so I'm not really sure about that. But he does get away with that Panzer Armor in the end as well. He does have that level 2 Nullfire Blade, I believe, yeah.
He's happy to do that. I'm guessing that he got the Haunt on him, or did I?
Yeah, I think he had the Hellflower and then the Haunt. When the Hellflower came off, he nullified himself.
Get rid of that Haunt and try and get out, but the Bat Blast coming out too, so you know, you can't nullify them both, I guess. Him putting his ulti on himself, though, secured his survive, like his safety, I guess. And but again, TDM just rolling around the map, complete control. Wild Soul trying to get as much farm as possible, actually having to use his bear to scout out just to make sure they're not trying to gank him right now.
Yeah, definitely keen though.
Definitely.
He's playing a bit dangerously in the jungle there. He does have that Plate of Greaves as well. Not an item we see too often on a Wild Soul.
For the Deadwood, it does make sense. A Deadwood Punch again being so strong. Deadwood actually picking up a Hellflower now. Looking at the items, you know, the Hellborn side has some just god tier items right now. The Demonic Breastplate, 2 Hellflowers. Even the Engie has a push stick and Tempest with his Frostburn. Of course, it's worth mentioning, I guess. But Tempest may be in a bit of trouble here. Rally coming up.
I think
got the lightning speed, but
yeah, Portal Key, getting the Portal Key away from there very easily. Rally not chasing, even though with the Portal Key he runs into the trees, thinking that's where Tempest was going. But Tempest was confident enough to bail back into the jungle. Especially with that Frostburn, I mean, and Phase Boots, he's got huge amounts of movement speed.
He's yeah, I think Tempest is not too worried at the moment. Something to mention though, you know, Seal Kid, he's still getting these wards up. He's got a little bit of vision around the place. Ward up top with that eye, obviously it's really hard to gain vision, but Fitzky with vision all over the map. So again, Hellborn, another step up with complete map control. Just complete control of this game currently. All that Lions can do is hope for a mistake, I think, or hope for a really good pick.
Yeah, I'd like to see them be able to try, you know, gank this Monkey King, but I don't think they're going to catch him out of position.
It's got a token too. Shrunken head, and demonic. So he's very hard to kill as well. Monkey King trying to pick off those minions. Not much else to say, I guess. It looks like Rally jumped on Tempest top, but Rally got counter initiated on Tempest ulting.
Glacius ends up going down at middle lane as well. The Ophelia, extra damage coming out on the Monkey King. They might take him down here. He is playing keen with that token. Hasn't used his Shrunken Head yet either. Engineer could be going down, but no, Ophelia ends up getting taken out by that Kegstun. And Monkey King still running in those front lines, and Wild Soul is in a lot of trouble right now. There is a lot of damage coming out from Boo Boo, and with that Mock of Brilliance trying to do those root grapples onto Deadwood. But I think Monkey King definitely has this here, especially with that Bad Blast from Wretched Hag.
Securing the kill.
And there goes the GG's.
GG's have been called, and yeah, that looks like game 1 down. No CC vote. Is the CC vote out yet? Yeah, there it is. So, again, well played, especially by TDM there. Such a strong team. Currently ranked 1 in the HONTOUR ladder, and for good reason.
Yeah, so we'll be going into game 2 of TDM versus Lion. And so we'll load that up now, so stay tuned, and we'll get this underway.
I'm all loaded up at 40 seconds when you're ready, Dan.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. 39, 38, 37.
Sweet, we're all good.
Alright, so welcome back to Trademark Esports versus Lions Esports Club, HONTOUR Diamond Cycle 6, Round 4. We just saw Trademark Esports take out the first game of 3, and we're getting underway again with the Keeper of the Forest Parasite, Wild Soul Moon Queen getting banned out this time in those blind bans. But just spectacular effort, mostly coming out from that Monkey King and that Tempest in that last game.
Yeah, again, huge plays all around. TDM definitely wanted control early game, and that, you saw that by them blowing some huge ultis just to get some picks, but proving to be wise.
And we got the lock pool coming up here again. We got Tempest, Wretched Hag, so pretty similar to last game, especially with that Magnus getting thrown in there again. But Artillery and Bubbles. So Artillery, an interesting one, because we've started to see him a lot more on that Australian competitive scene. It's just a really good way to sort of wipe out those push strats, and can be pretty decent at farming stacks himself.
But definitely, I wouldn't expect to see Artillery, but it would be nice if it does get picked up. Yeah, Artillery, again, being a strong hero, but it's pretty unexplored, I suppose. A lot of the teams have been picking up a lot more lately, testing it out, but I haven't seen it, in the competitive games as much as I would have liked, I guess. The last lock being Pebbles, so again, another huge hero. And first ban Plague Rider.
Yeah, interesting that Plague Rider getting banned out. Obviously a very powerful hero. Fade, pretty standard, obviously getting banned as well. It's interesting to see that Pebbles being in the lock pool now. So Pebbles being a super powerful mid hero, and just with that sort of super gang potential, I'll be interested to see if Nymphora stays available with the Pebbles on the board, because those two together can just cause some huge amounts of damage. Unfortunately, there's no Fade, so they couldn't couple it up with a Fade as well, but still. It can be very deadly.
Yeah, well, you do see the Nymphora played. I've seen Seal Kid play Nymphora, an amazing Nymphora player, and Fitzky being, he's a really good player overall, but his Nymphora is up there with the best, I think. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that banned off. If not banned off, it's more than likely going to get picked. Limp and Zai both playing really strong Pebbles, but I've seen Limp being played Pebbles a lot more lately as well. So right-clicked Ophelia though, so that may be on the boards for a first pick if they get the opportunity.
We're still going with the bans, as you mentioned, sort of the Fade, Draconis, Zephyr, and Glacius. So Zephyr getting banned out again, as well as that Draconis. And Rally getting banned out this game, so Lion doesn't want to come up against them. As we're beginning the picking phase right now. Trademark Esports obviously starting off with the first pick this time. And you got to remember they are up 1-0.
Do have that Ophelia pick too, so again, a really strong hero coming out as the first pick, but Lions has a huge pool open. A lot of great heroes still to pick from.
Yeah, unfortunately they don't have that Parasite, especially because TDM did blind ban it out, as they obviously had an idea of what they wanted to go with going into this match. And if you still wanted to do something like a relatively hard counter, it actually looks like TDM banned out Glacius as well, so they didn't want anything to counter that Ophelia. If Lions really wanted, they could go for Cthulhu, as we have seen that being pretty effective at just using that hooker mobility on the creeps. But I mean, that Cthulhu doesn't really bring too much else to the table compared to the other heroes that are available.
A lot of the time, yeah. Again, if you talk to Bryzed, or Emperor, as he calls himself now, he'd like to argue, but a lot of teams opting away from the Cthulhu. So it's not a first pick kind of first priority hero, especially in Lions' eyes, I think. But again, against Ophelia, I think it's a great pick, and maybe it would have been huge in this lineup. But Deadwood and MOA, again, really strong heroes, and that Nymphora coming out as as you said before, so I'd expect to see Pebbles first picks from the lock pool.
They end up going Torturer though, so... oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, from the lock pool. No, that's right. Getting ahead of myself now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Pebbles get picked up from that lock pool, seeing as they already have that Ophelia. They can let that Tempest go. Obviously, not the ideal, but you know, if they've got an idea, definitely go for it instead. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up either Bubbles or Wretched Hag for that suicide lane.
Yeah, for sure.
And TDM's lineup would be pretty strong. Lion, I mean, they have a lot of options here. They could still go for something like a hard carry and then pick up the Tempest Bubbles or the Tempest Hag, whichever one they want, really, because obviously they'll get those 2 picks in a row. They go for that Engineer, though, so maybe going to run that Master of Arms again as that more carry-style hero in the short lane, throw a Deadwood Engineer in the middle, and then maybe you know, Tempest in the jungle. Oh, obviously Tempest in the jungle with a Bubbles. Would you say that a Bubbles or a Wretched Hag they'd prefer to pick up here? I would say the Bubbles, just so it doesn't counter that Tempest.
I'd personally say they'd pick up Bubbles here, but can't be sure. I know that they do like running Hag, and Hag getting picked up actually as we speak. Again, they've got, I guess Master of Arms is, especially being on Seal Kid now, going to be played as that support role, that hard support role. Engineer even, you know. Seal Kid playing that hard support role, and Flying Master playing that second support, it seems. But yeah, both teams are really solid teams. One I haven't seen a lot of is Nymphora Pebble, so that'll be really good to see how that goes, assuming the mid lane, especially coming up against such a strong combo. If Deadwood and Engineer head there, I'm not 100% on how they're going to lane this though.
Yeah, I don't think... I mean, I do like the Nymphora Pebbles combo, and I think it is very powerful. There are more powerful mid-support heroes, though, like, say, like an Aluna, or even that Engineer. You know, I love that Engineer, as you know, but we're just going to skip a pause there, so that's good. But then again, Pebbles combined with that Nymphora is just really powerful with obviously that mana, and the double stun combo is not the greatest by any means, but it can be very effective if lined up well, so... be interesting to see them come up against this Deadwood NG mid, which I imagine. Although both teams not going to run into each other, it looks like this time, as they are not both heading for the same spot.
Swapping out what way they go this time, so both going to defend their own pool. Hag may be in a bit of trouble. Here, no, just gets that ward out. Has the courier scouting, so pretty safe there. But yeah, it looks like they're just going to head back to lane safely.
Bubbles also getting that ward down relatively unnoticed.
No action early game, which is something we see a lot of lately as well. These team fights happening, you know, at the pool ward. Deadwood actually going top, so we're going to be looking at MOA NG mid.
That'd be an interesting lineup. Perhaps deciding that they wanted a ranged hero against that Pebbles, especially with the Forked Lightning double stun. You know, they still have that double stun combo. It can be very powerful as well if they are able to get it on something like a Nymphora. And it's going to be a little bit harder for Nymphora to set up stuns to begin with on something like a ranged hero like Master of Arms, compared to that Deadwood who has to get in the front to get those last hits. Actually,
in saying that,
Torture's in mid, so not even paying attention to TDM's lineup here. They have actually done a similar thing of putting the sort of that melee hero in the short lane. Although they do have Nymphora helping him out here against that Wretched Hag, whereas Deadwood's going to go 1v1 versus Bubbles.
Yeah, I love TDM doing things like this. And again, it shows an innovation, I guess. Putting that lane bot against Hag, it should just dominate the Hag bot. Pebbles should get free farm, that early PK, which I feel that Pebbles needs these days with the nerf. So he really does need that early farm. He's not one of those heroes that can come back. The Torture is getting jumped on mid, but nothing really coming out of it. Just harass. But Deadwood should have a pretty good time top against Bubbles.
We see, yeah, Deadwood obviously with that big rotten tree, the oak bolt, going to be okay for those last hits. Wretched Hag going to get stunned on here, actually. We see the Zeal stun coming out from Nymphoria as well. Pebbles only just hitting level 2, but does not have the mana for the throw. Could be some body blocking coming out from Nymphoria. It's not going to matter, though, as Wretched Hag, level 1, with that Flash of Darkness. Going to be okay, but forced to use up some of that regen.
Yeah, definitely. Wretched Hag shouldn't die so much, but Nymphoria's harass is super strong and has to be really careful. Like, if he gets stunned by Nymphoria, that combo from Pebbles, when it comes out, is going to be deadly.
Middle lane, Engineer obviously doing great with the warding. You see Seal Kid there, and also making sure that Torturer can't get in close to get any experience. And speaking of that, looking at those creep kills, we've got Torturer on 4-1 versus that 14-3 Master of Arms. So as you talked about, Lions just deciding to dominate that mid lane. However, in the bottom lane, you look at the similar story, 13-13 for that Pebbles versus a 1-0 Wretched Hag. So Wretched Hag having a pretty hard time, just getting harassed out by this level 1 Nymphoria.
Yeah, Nymphoria sacrificing a lot to keep his Hag out, but definitely worth it at this stage. Nymphoria probably wants level 2 for that mana though, so I'm sure that's going to be coming at the end of this creep wave. Torture's doing pretty well mid, still soaking up that XP, but doing slightly better than Hag, I guess.
I think Deadwood's going to be in a little bit of trouble with this top lane. He's only got 230 health. The Shell Surf does come out from Bubbles. It does hit him, and he actually avoids the Rotten Grasp at the same time. There goes the Bloodlust in the top. Zai getting credit for the kill. And that's just...
unexpected, really. Unexpected, definitely.
Yeah, Deadwood was a bit too close. He wasn't close enough to get XP, I don't think, but he was close enough to get sniped out or at least get seen by that Bubbles, and he didn't have any regen. So I'm not really sure what he was thinking there, but... TDM picking up the Bloodlust kill as we get to that 3.5 minute mark.
Yeah, and it looks like they've counter-warded that pull and they're pulling already, so, you know, Tempest doing a great job supporting there. I'm pretty sure the ward came out from Seal Kid buying the ward, but Tempest counter-warding very successfully there. And that pull coming out, Bubbles actually sniping a few of those creeps. So, you know, Deadwood should be okay, considering the lane's back in his favour now. But the Bloodlust out on Bubbles is definitely going to put a lot of pressure onto him.
Yeah, he is just above Bubbles when it comes to creep kills at the moment. Obviously 24-1 versus that 21-2, but you got to remember that Bloodlust kill, and that's a huge amount of gold. And it has pushed Bubbles up to the top farmer in the game at the moment, 381, where he's going to be sitting comfortably for now. I imagine he's going to hit that level 6 just now. There we go. And so he can pick up a teleport stone soon and maybe start getting a little bit more aggressive. He does finish off his boots, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for a teleport stone just to get ready for those counter gank operations.
Yeah, definitely. Bubbles and being such an amazing initiator and counter initiator, in fact, with that ulti. Also notably, before Tempest gets BKB, such a good counter to Tempest.
I think Deadwood actually went down top in middle lane, top lane as well. Didn't see that one. Tempest was nearby, but only level 6. There's not much he can do. Even with that mana.
Bubbles went in and just annihilated the Deadwood there.
So that's the power of that kelp field. Not being able to run away, and Bubbles can hit level 7, I imagine. Go mana up, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. Notably, the Tempest is doing pretty well, 330 GPM, with Deadwood also sitting around 330 GPM. But Bubbles sitting on, not even looking at the right charts, looking at the XP. My bad. But yeah, Deadwood and Tempest doing pretty decent. Master Arm sitting right at the top there on the GPM, but Bubbles and Pebbles taking over this chart right now. Obviously, Limp on Pebbles has had a really nice time, but even Ophelia has been stacking up and probably looking to take the stacks now.
Torture sitting on level 5 in that mid lane, not having the best of time. Obviously, Noob G 9-4 at the moment. And it looks like, yep, Master of Armor has actually gone for that Haste Rune. Could potentially try and make something happen, but I think that Legion team in their short lane, they're just too powerful at the moment with that Ophelia, Nymphora, and that Pebbles. Especially as Pebbles going to be getting very decent amounts of farm. They could even be looking to do a bit of a push here.
There's the counter kill. They finally take down that Bubbles using Tempest ult there, and Deadwood ult in fact. So got that counter kill, especially to make Deadwood feel a bit better about dying twice to the Bubbles, I think.
And now it looks like we're seeing sort of a tower race here. Lions putting a lot of damage onto that top lane tower. And if they do get it down, then they'll have the opportunity to teleport bot if they still even need to. It looks like the ports are coming out here now, though. Bubble's going to get caught out in that rotten grasp. Super KG getting that kill, and Tempest and Deadwood, I imagine, going to back off. In the bottom lane, though, a little bit of action. Actually missed that, as Wretched Hag did go down. Ophelia is going to go down as well, so 1 for 1. And I would imagine if they can they deny this tower? It is going to be denied. Flensmeister getting that on that Master of Arms, especially with that haste, just barreling around.
Yeah, it's definitely well played by Lions there. Lions needed that to put themselves back in a better position. Ophelia dropping, must have something in base, because right now, oh, there, picks up the mana ring. Right, clicks that mana ring.
Still doesn't have boots though, which is a bit surprising. But I imagine it's going to be pretty quick work to farm those up.
Yeah, definitely. I think he helped out the Nymphora a lot by clearing those stacks and getting that Nymphora a bit more XP. But Nymphora is still sitting about the same XP per minute as Hag, down 136, Hag being on 128. So it's like Masters trying to clear this triple stack of Ancients, potting up for it and everything, so yeah, going all out for this one.
He's going to have a little bit of a hard time doing it on his own. The armor reduction obviously is pretty good, but he's going to take a fair beating trying to do it. He's got time though, of course. It is 3-2 so far. Obviously, Trademark Esports actually up from the first game, and Lions Esports still doing quite well though. They are a little bit behind, just about 500 gold, but if they can get those, get that farm on Master of Arms, could be a different story this game. As could be going for something like a Shrunken Head. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go the Shrunken Head first this time, as opposed to the Null Fireblade.
Well, definitely not. This game, the Legion predominantly magic damage. That Pebbles until later on in the game, it has those auto attacks, but they're very slow. They do end up taking that triple stack. The Hag comes out and helps there, but Bubbles going for that Tempest maybe, looking to set up a kill here. Maybe heading mid too.
Yeah, Zai is a ninja gang squad of one. Making his way to that mid lane, where he's going to see, obviously, that Engineer and that Torturer. He ends up going in there. There goes the Kelpfield. Will Torturer be able to get the stun off? He does, despite the Panzer Armor. They are on the run now, though. Wretched Hag obviously doing a lot of damage to this Torturer. Noob G is in trouble now. Doesn't have the Impalement or anything like that to help him. He does get that Affilia's Touch, though, and that could seal it for him, especially as Bubble's going to be able to shell surf out in time as well. So great heads-up play, great teamwork. The Affilia's Affilia's Touch, keeping that Torture alive just long enough. Obviously, he's able to pot up a little bit there as well and continue farming. Yeah,
again, good pick, and the counter initiation was nice, but it just wasn't enough. Really well played by the Ophelia in particular there, having great map awareness to get that ult off and save Torturer.
Portal Key picked up on Pebbles, so I would imagine we're going to see him get a lot more active now as well, and maybe set up some ganks, but he is going to need some support, I think, to do it on anyone sort of except that Engineer. He's going to be...
They will have that Nymph TP at level 6 too, so... But Nymph being level 4, it's still a fair way away from that. Actually, solo farming bot, I'm sure, just trying to get that level 6, so...
Yeah.
In saying that...
Pebbles taking out that Engineer one-on-one with that brand new Sparkling Portal Key. Looks like they're going to do some damage onto this middle tower now. With those Affiliate minions. You see Master of Arms actually has an Energizer, and he's going to sprint out of there. I don't think they're going to be able to defend this one.
Looks like mid's going to drop. So, Nymphora going for the kill over here on Hag. Hag's in a lot of trouble, and Bubbles coming in for the follow-up. So the Hag actually went on the Nymphora there, and Bubbles came in and Kelpfield and just annihilated Hag there. So Hag's not having such a fun game right now.
As we hit 11 minutes and 44 seconds, it is 6-2. Trademark Esports versus Lion Esports Club. Ophelia working her way towards that Astrolabe, and you see a little bit of reaction coming down in that bottom lane. Wretched Hag still only level 5, which I think is quite interesting to see. Obviously, TDM doing quite well with their experience at the moment. You look at that level 8 Ophelia, level 9 Pebbles, and so on. Even their Suicide Hero, that level 9 Bubbles, but Wretched Hag struggling, unfortunately.
Yeah, Hag's had a very hard lane to deal with, and just in general, it's hard to come back from that early on. But Hag, again, one of those heroes that can just go clear creep waves and get that farm back. So I'm sure that Hag will be doing that now. The Nymphora has hit level 6 now, so I'm sure we'll start seeing the Pebbles Nymphora TPing around with that PK. So that'll be huge place, I guess. I haven't really seen the Nymphora Pebbles, and again, now seeing it, it's been huge, really big this game.
Yeah, the Lions Esports Club, they've got to know that Nymphora is level 6 now. They're going to have to try and play very carefully. And there's not a lot of map vision sort of up at the top of the map up here, but you see a lot of it in the river. And especially Lions trying to counterward anything that would go into their Ancients to prevent them from stacking those Ancients. You look at that Deadwood actually sitting in the top lane doing a bit of farming. And you can see he's sort of standing right on where the river is. He's going to cross over the river, but that's going to be pretty dangerous for him. And it looks like teleports are actually coming in behind him. Nymphora teleport going to come in. He will get stunned by that Torturer, and there goes the Pebbles combo with that Nymphora Zeal. Deadwood's going to fall down there. Noob G getting credit for the kill with that chain reaction and agonizing
Pebbles
bombs.
Standing probably just a little bit too much there, especially knowing that the Pebbles Nymph combo is around. So without any team support, like being able to come in that section, I think it was a bit of an overextension. Yeah, great play by TDM. Definitely using that PK Pebbles and Nymphora port to the best of the abilities. Pebbles is going to TP to bot rather than pushing this top tower. Master of Arms is around, but I don't know. I think they're going to...
Pebbles jumping on that Wretched Hag. He can't get that auto attack off as the Panzer Armor goes off just in time. So good map awareness coming up from that Master of Arms. Keeping that Wretched Hag alive, despite the Mystic Vestment is obviously awfully low. But that's the power of the MOA. As obviously Pebbles, like Deadwood, is one of those heroes that just really relies on that burst damage, comboing you out completely. If you get that shield off just in time, or anything like an Ophelia's Touch as well, you should be okay.
Yeah, a great play by the Master of Arms. Flying Master doing a really good job while watching map, and again, this Hag not having a great job, not having a good time, sorry, and living just on so little health.
Bubbles actually shell surfing in. He could throw out the kelp field here if he can. Yes, he does. The energy field going out from that engineer. He will fall in the end, though. Double damage Pebbles throwing that Tempest up in the air. Tempest unfortunately not able to get that ultimate off in the midst of all that. So Lions is falling back now. They did lose 2, and then again TDM is quite low now. So I'd be surprised if they do commit to a full push here. They do have a lot of heals and a lot of mana rings though. So, it's still decent.
Yeah, I think they're in a position, again, like, taking these positions of power, Pebbles picking up that Soul's Bulwark, so yeah, I really feel that they've got the levels and the gold, and they know it too. They definitely know it.
While that response is happening in the middle lane, you just see Ophelia in the short lane, or that bottom lane, sorry.
Pushing. Just
pushing, putting a little bit of harass onto that tower, but it looks like she's going to back out of there as well, which is probably the smart move. Wretched Hag going to scoot around the side and pick up some illusions, but I don't think a Wretched Hag, level 7 Wretched Hag can take on a level 10 Ophelia with 2 Skeleton Kings and a Minotaur, so I think she's going to be fine for now. But
TP is actually coming in here.
TP's coming in. I don't think Richard Hagg's here anymore, as it obviously those illusions.
Oh, no. Pebbles jumping on that illusion, getting baited. Good job from the Wretched Hag there. So, really, really well played by Krebson.
Yeah, I think that came down to they didn't have vision. I mean, they didn't see that she'd picked up illusions. They must have known it when they walked in there, but Pebbles decided to try his luck anyway, just in case.
Yeah, he's definitely keen on those kills, getting really kill hungry here. And as you'd expect on a Pebbles with a PK. But again, TDM taking really good control of this game. To note though, Silkid's doing a great job of warding, probably saving that Hag there. And yeah, he does seem to have a lot of vision on the map, whereas TDM doesn't have quite.
Oh, Nymphora just putting up. So Fitzk putting up one ward, and but no, I mean the supports have been doing a great job this whole game. I think it's Nymphora's focused on killing, and now Nymphora's focused on warding. As you see another ward in that inventory, and she does have steam boots as well, so her farm's not too bad. Sitting on 160 for that support, it's not too bad. Engineer struggling, of course, on that 80 gold a minute, so it's going to be a bit hard for him to get anything above the little red marches, little red booties that he's got now.
Yeah, Engie and Hag together both having like a really struggle game right now. Hag slowly coming back in, but Engie's going to have a lot more trouble coming back into this one. Pebbles going for that BKB now, so you know the Legion side is looking really strong. Deadwood does have PK, so you know there's always picks to happen there, and Tempest is working really hard at that PK now. I'm sure once Tempest gets PK, that's a game changer. So we'll see what happens.
Bubbles getting close to the Hellflower of his own, which would be great. But even so, with the portal key, TDM, you got to remember they do still have that Torturer, they do still have that Ophelia. She's been rocking around with 2 Skeleton Kings just in case, and they do have that Kelp Field from the Bubbles, and all of those combined, that's a lot of chances to take out this Tempest ultimate. Granted, I mean, Hanskin could get a really good ultimate in, I don't doubt it, but it's just going to be. They're going to have to get some really good timing here, and it looks like Master of Arms is actually going to hear this Nymphora teleport coming in. He's in a lot of trouble, getting triple stun there, and obviously Torture getting thrown up in the air, so Limp getting credit for that kill on that Pebbles, and that's that power of the Pebbles Nymphora combo, just that global presence, and picking up those kills.
Yeah, again, great play by TDM, like I'll say it again, like, you know, TDM's doing a really good job of just controlling this map, getting these picks off and just making sure, you know, they hold this lead. Just like what they did last game. Torture actually picks up a PK now.
That's a bit interesting. I mean, it is a good item and sort of seals their a lot of their initiation that they're doing. But from what I can see, I don't know, I'd like to see a different item on that Torturer. I'm not sure if he'd really prefer to go the sort of that tanky route. But I guess, you know, the extra initiation, especially with that Nymphora, really can't hurt at this stage.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I'll let this fight go through, actually.
Tempest getting jumped on in those front lines there. The Bat Blast and the Master of Arms shield going to try and help him. Deadwood coming in on that Bubbles, so Bubbles looks like he could fall here. The Forked Lightning doing its work. Engineer will fall down in his own energy field, so that's a bit rough. Ophelia taking a lot of damage, but Torturer, there you go, jumping into the front lines with that portal key, picking off that Tempest, and it looks like they're going to pick off that Deadwood as well, so 3 down for Lions at the moment in exchange for a Bubbles. Master of Arms still doing what he can from inside the trees. He's going to help take out this Torturer, and the newest Blessing coming out a little bit later.
There's Pebbles.
Will fall, and here's Pebbles now, as you're talking about, and Master of Arms is on the run, not going to make it though, and that's going to be the Genocide. And we're going to see a tower push, maybe even that base tower getting pushed in as well.
It really wouldn't surprise me to see the base tower getting pushed in there. Really good job again by Lions. Like they kept that Tempest up, but he just, with that PK on the Torturer, he just managed to pick off that Tempest before he could get that ult off. So I expected to see a big ult from Tempest there, considering he got it out 1 HP, like really low. And he looked like he was coming back, trying to get an ult off, but did get picked straight away. Yeah. They take that tower and back off.
In the end, Tempest doesn't have a portal key. He's got a mana ring, he's got an Astrolabe, and Pebbles actually getting sent back to base there, so getting a bit of a chance to portal key in, do some cheeky stuff.
She did, made them both go back and heal, but, you know, this Ophelia is committing to this Tempest not being able to ulti. He's got 3 skeleton minions right now.
And is Ophelia going to get there in time? No, he's not going to get there in time to get teleported out. Bubbles will, though, so that was pretty cute. Deadwood ends up getting at least 1 kill, but it's 15-5 at this stage. 13,000 gold lead for Trademark Esports. And most of that, obviously, you just look at that Pebbles, 5-0, and storming through with 460 gold per minute right now. He could jump on. Here we go. Get that double stun. Going to get the throw off as well. The chain reaction coming out from Torture with that ultimate. And so they end up getting essentially a double tap there. 1 for Limp, 1 for Noob G. And just sealing that lead right now.
Again, TDM doing a great job. Lions is in another position similar to last game where they really have to hope for a mistake here or hope for like a huge play. Because as you mentioned before, even if Tempest does get a PK, which he did not for, he went for the Astrolabe, you know, there's... every single hero on the Legion side can stop a Tempest ulti. And Ophelia can do so with, you know, 2 other minions. Taught Invis stalking this Tempest now too.
Yeah, Torture could make something happen here. I'm not confident that he'll be able to do it on his own. And you actually see Pebbles coming in here as well. He is going to walk past a ward of Rev though, so he's going to have to be a little bit careful. I'm not sure if Tempest actually had the vision right then, but he does know that Pebbles is here. Will Torture be able to get the stun off? No. Tempest actually ended up teleporting out just in time. Probably think he's sort of lost in the woods there, Slender Man coming for him, that kind of thing. Panzer Arm activated on that Wretched Hag, so it looks like Bubbles in a little bit of trouble himself, getting Fort Lightning and Bad Blasted. And Infora teleporting in, but unfortunately a little bit late. I'm not able to do anything.
And they actually jumped on the Ophelia mid, dropping him like a stone. Pebbles comes in, takes out the Engineer, but great stun from the Pebbles there. But it does look like
he does have that Shrunken Head activated, so he's not going to be taking too much damage here. You've got to remember that Falcon Punch is on cooldown from Deadwood. He's going to throw the Rotten Grasp, but he's going to miss. And you see another kill, Limp getting Savage sick by killing that Tempest. He is going to get turned on now, though, especially with that Energizer for that Deadwood and that Wretched Hag. At the very least, they should get this Infora kill. But it looks like Torture and Pebble's going to be okay for now. They are still keen. I'm not sure if they really should be so keen with just the 2 of them. But yeah, you see them there portal keying away, and they'll be able to leg it and be okay.
They'll be safe now, yeah. I think that's kind of the thing that Hellborn needs. They need that to happen just consistently for them to win this game. They with a lead this big on TDM, they really do have to hope for mistakes coming out. But well played by the Hellborn there, getting some really nice picks. It looks like Tempest isn't even going to go for a PK this game. He's going to go for that BKB next. But whereas big items coming, I guess the Deadwood picked up his souls too to counter the one on Pebbles. Pebbles looks like he's going for a Hellflower.
Infora in a very interesting position up there on the cliff.
Fitsky porting out. I didn't notice this before, but it looks like Ophelia's got a PK.
Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. Got that full PK team. I'm surprised Bubbles doesn't have one actually, because he looks like he's going for a teleport command.
Yeah, he's diverting from the norm. It seems hipster Bubbles. But yeah, they got a lot of items on this Legion team. Not 100% why Ophelia went PK. I guess to PK in an Astrolabe maybe, get off those heals.
I still would have preferred to see something like a Shaman's Headdress onto a barrier idol for her. I mean, Infora's got a decent farm, 215, but I don't think she's going to be able to build a barrier anytime soon. I think that is sort of that job for that Ophelia, so they can get that easy push. As you see, they're actually teleporting up top. It looks like they're going to try and defend this Rax. As the tower is already down, you see the impalement coming out from Torturer. The defensive fortification being used as well. And this is where Tempest needs one of those big ultimates, but it looks like he hasn't got that shrunken head yet. He doesn't have that portal key. And Pebbles actually doing huge amounts of damage, just nuking the crap out of that engineer. And they're going to be able to take down this melee Rax without too much trouble. Deadwood coming in on Bubbles, getting that Ophelia, sorry, the new Earth Blessing. Ophelia probably, sorry, Bubbles still going to drop here. It looks like the Tempest getting stunned out from that Elemental Void. It was a great ultimate, but unfortunately, Nymphora not caught right in the middle of it. And that's probably going to be it here. 3 down, they've got a Rax, all in exchange for a Bubbles.
Knowing Lions, they won't CC this one. They'll wait for the end.
Yeah, at the very least,
they got nothing to lose right now.
Yeah, as TDM is already 1 game up, this is HONTOUR, it's Diamond Leagues, Diamond Cycle 6, round 4. And they're already 1 game down, and TDM obviously very comfortable to just keep pushing this lane, maybe even rotate mid here. But Lions are going to hold on and try and do the best they can. At the very least, you can learn some things, especially from a team as good as TDM.
Oh, most definitely. Lions is happy to play this one out. You know, again, they can always hope for the mistake that that TDM might make, but right now TDM's looking really, really in the lead, and they've got a Rax down, obviously, got a huge gold lead, huge XP lead, so TDM's feeling pretty safe.
And it looks like Nymphora reports coming in. He didn't take the Pebbles with him, which is interesting.
Hag jumping on Ophelia with Invis, and Deadwood just following up with an ulti, so I mean, gonna clear out Ophelia's minions too. Yeah,
I guess that's why you don't concede early, because I mean, the Lions, they're still a very good team, and if they can get some picks off like that with some regularity, I can see that them turning this game around. Now, whether Trademark Esports is bad enough to let that happen is another story, but this is HON, and anything can happen, of course. You could see some DCs. Trademark Esports could all disconnect at the same time.
That'd be a Hail Mary, I think.
Yeah, we could wait through. Yeah. We could wait through like 5 pauses. Lions actually gone for a cheeky Kong attempt here. There's no vision for the Legion side. Bubbles is relatively nearby though. I don't think he's going to see it unless he scouts it out. They are keen to think it is happening though. And Pebbles jumping in with the stun, but Lions has bailed out as they saw it coming.
Again, that's just map awareness, I guess, because they don't have vision really on that Kongor. They just they would have seen them leaving base and not seen them go anywhere else, so they would have assumed it's happening. It wouldn't surprise me to see TDM now just go and kill that Kong. That's, you know, the Hellborn's so nicely put down on lower HP.
So if they can just turtle a little bit longer, they will have that Tempest ultimate again in 20 seconds. And TDM not too worried about it, especially because that Tempest does not have that portal key. Can't really get into the best of positions. But we'll see how we go. I wouldn't be surprised to see Trademark Esports actually try and get a cheeky Kong attempt here, but they probably don't want to get counter-jumped in return, so...
They definitely have to watch out. You know, TDM's got a lead, but if they do get picked off a couple of times, it could turn around. Nymphora teleporting into base, maybe looking to pick off that Master of Arms who pops his BKB. Nymphora actually gets hit by the slow and stun.
She throws the stun at itself, and it does stun Deb with the Master of Arms Shrunken Head lasting just long enough. They're putting a lot of damage on this Pebbles, and there goes that Elemental Void there. They're going to try and definitely commit onto this Pebbles. He pops the Shrunken Head himself, but he will go down. Energy Field being used on the Nymphora, popping her into the trees a little bit there. Torture in the back lines, just tearing it up. Look at the huge amount of damage Noob G is doing. And Nymphora actually getting away safe there. And it looks like Engineer going to fall. Deadwood's in a lot of trouble with all those creeps. And that Bubble's getting doing a lot of damage to them. So the only one left is that wretched Hag. She ends up going down. And Master of Arms, I don't see him getting out of here.
Flies back from the Hag, so
Hag
saves the Master.
Yeah, Hag saves his life. The bound eye on the ground there. Bubbles is in a position to try and pick up a kill. He's got that Hellflower. He's got that Torturer on his back as well. Hat-trick for Noob G. And a second buyback from Hag. They're going to try and get this Bubbles though. They're keen to get this Bubbles. Zai getting up onto the ledge just in time. He doesn't have a portal key, remember. Impalement. Going to finish it off though.
no.
Wretched Hag in a lot of trouble in return. It's just a Torture and just an Infora, but even so, that Torture doing huge amounts of damage, getting fed mana from that Infora.
Yeah, that Hag using all his gold to do that double buyback. So, you know, sure they defended something. I don't even know if there was a push happening there. I think there was just picks looking like TDM was going for some picks there, but you know, it was a good turnaround, I suppose, if you could call it that. They did lose 2 buybacks and a few heroes though, so Deadwood is looking to get this Bubbles. Did get the grasp off. Bubbles may be in a lot of trouble here.
Oh, he uses that take cover. He's in the grasp just now. I think I'm a little bit behind at the moment. He shell surfs out. Too bad. The words come up for that Deadwood. And he's just going to run off back into the trees in disgust, I imagine. As that Bubbles just being too slippery.
Yeah, Zai, a great player there. Picking up a haste now. Actually, what time are you at so I can quickly pause to catch back up to you? Well, not catch.
32:09, 32:10, 32:11, 12.
Okay, we're good now. Sweet.
Alright, getting ahead of me again.
Oh, my bad.
Bubbles back in that middle lane though. I don't think there's much that they can do to jump on him here. Deadwood's going to definitely try though. You got to be careful. Oh, he just walks up. I think it could even be an illusion, but it is. And Bubbles actually down here with that haste rune. Torture jumping into the mid there, trying to get that Wretched Hag. Pebbles jumping in, that Engineer is just going to completely melt. Bubbles in a little bit of trouble. Zai from that Deadwood. He's going to be okay though, because there is a force to be reckoned with from Trademark Esports, doing what they can. The Bat Blast going out, trying to get that Ophelia. It's not that she will fall in the end. Tempest getting credit for the kill there, and Master of Arms on the run with that Shrunken Head, trying to slow that Pebbles. It's not going to matter though. Wretched Hag, I believe, jumped into the Stalagmite stun from the Pebbles, and the rest of TDM is here though, so I think Lions is definitely going to back out. And I'm not sure what kind of defense they can put up here as this middle tower starts to get pushed in. They're doing their best. They're throwing down the negative armor acid. Tempest still with that ultimate. Wasn't able to get a good position in that last team fight.
Again, like, this Tempest has so much stuff to cancel the ulti. It's really unfortunate for him right now. TDM doing a great job. I don't know if you saw, but Zai actually took cover the Hag ulti. So surviving on very little life. Again, TDM's just going in. Looks like they're going to get a couple of picks here.
Wretched Hag actually jumping back in and using that Sonar Scream, and it looks like a lot of back and forth here. Master of Arms getting hit by the Zeal stun, and Torturer popping that Shrunken Head just in time to avoid the stun from that Master of Arms. He's going to get punched in the face though by that Deadwood. Shrunken Head or not, it does not matter. Lightning speed onto that Deadwood. He's running through the trees a little bit. I would imagine he's going to try and go for this Nymphora. He will get interrupted by that Pebbles, who now has post haste, portal key, and that Bulwark. And his Shrunken Head. Now there goes the Elemental Void. It's going to get cancelled pretty quickly as well. I'm not exactly sure what cancelled it. But Tempest is definitely dead here with that Kelp Field. Not able to run very far. Engineer trying to, level 11, trying to keep himself in the Shrine alive. Of course, pushing that Ophelia through the energy field multiple times is brilliant. But I believe he does fall there. Zai picking up that kill.
Zai in a lot of trouble. Looking like he's gonna die. Pebbles actually throwing out. Zai's still falling, unfortunately, there.
Yeah, Panzer Armor on that Wretched Hag is going to be okay. Throwing out Sonar Screams and whatnot. The Zeal stun from Nymphora is fine. But Pebbles, he's got his combo ready. He's got that portal key in 1 second. He could try and jump with his Wretched Hag. Throws her up in the air. One more auto attack. Not going to be able to get it. As Wretched Hag anyway on
auto attack there.
Bee's Dick of health at the moment. She does have that Flash of Darkness in 1 second. She'll get back into the base just fine. Pebbles is keen though. Getting Salbot commanded. Deadwood coming in and tried to punch that Pebbles. It didn't happen though. Wretched Hag still on 1 health. No, ends up getting taken out by those Stalagmites. And Pebbles could actually get out of here. He does have that portal key ready to go. And he's going to teleport after using the post haste. So I'm not sure about that. He's now stuck.
Yeah, he saw the Deadwood coming and was a bit worried.
But he is now stuck till that comes off cooldown. So he really doesn't have a lot of mana.
Oh, Nymphora dropping. Deadwood just going to punch and ended up getting a kill. So.
Deadwood throwing out Rotten Grasp. He's going to delay his pursuers a little bit. But again, 36 to 18 as we hit that 36 minutes 20-second mark. And 23,500 gold lead for Trademark Esports. They're one game up. I imagine we're going to see them win this second game as well. We're still waiting for that Hail Mary pass, though.
Yeah, definitely. You know, maybe they'll go in for a push now. They have had this lead for quite a long time. Pebbles picks up that Hellflower. It almost feels like TDM's toying with Lions right now, knowing that they've got, you know, such a big lead, but
especially with Bubbles picking up a puzzle box. It's a bit interesting.
Probably just going for another final push, I guess. I don't know. Again, they could buy whatever they wanted right now, and I feel like they'd still win the game. So,
Bubbles and Pebbles and Amphora in their jungle here. They're going to run into this Tempest. Imagine there goes the stun throw combo onto that Tempest. Engineer is in the middle there. He's not able to get his ultimate off. He's just way too silenced. There goes the energy field. Unfortunately, a little bit too late as Tempest and Engineer both go down. Bubbles goes down as well, so bit of a turnaround there. Pebbles as well, so it is 2 for 2.
Meanwhile, at the base.
Yeah, meanwhile at the base, Torture and Affiliate just making their way onto the shrine. But, you know, to be fair, Master of Arms with that Nullfire Blade and Wretched Hag doing some good work onto that Nymphora, end up taking her out. At what cost? So I think it's going to be at the cost of the base. Deadwood actually jumping in on Affiliate. She ends up Portal Keying off to the side. Says power that Portal Key. Torturer with that ultimate, the agonizing, the Torment. Way too much, and there go the GG. Well played.
Yeah, really great game. I guess the TDM did have that lead from really early on, and it feel like they kept that lead the entire game, winning them a game like a really convincing victory there.
So now the game's over, shout-outs to some of the guys who hit follow during those last two games we casted. We got Barty Melons, we got Matty Boys, Tessa Mess, Noxon, Dubsy, and Nachicons. So shout out to you guys for hitting follow. I know it's a lot of effort to hit follow. It's a big commitment, but we at FG Hon are committed to bringing you some good replay casts, some good scrim casts. Hopefully we'll be able to get some scrims this evening, or this evening for us. And GG, thanks guys, thanks Orcs for hitting that follow button. We're going to take a quick break because it's 5 to 8 PM here now, and I think I need a drink. And I'm not sure about you, Mangy, because it is...
I definitely need a drink. I need to cook some spring rolls too.
It is that Saturday night.
It is.
So we get a couple of cheeky bevies, and hopefully we'll be able to come back with some more scrimcasts, or obviously some more replay casts as well, and we'll get those Aussie casts happening for you.
Alrighty. Thanks again for watching. So see you soon.